This is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. It's Tuesday Lunch with Abe, and wow, it's already 1:30, and guess who's calling in? I tell you, this is going to be a great segment. I want to thank Art Menius Radio for introducing Jefferson Berry. Jefferson, welcome to the show.
Hey, Abe, thanks for having me on. Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Is it good?
Yeah, sort of.
Good morning where you are.
Well, the time change is always interesting.
Of course, if you're a musician, it probably is morning, because musicians typically stay up pretty late. And
I do.
And I just learned you were in Santa Barbara for a high school class reunion. Yes, and I got a quick little gig at the Lost Chord Guitars in Solvang. What a nice little venue that is. Yeah, I've been there many times, and how did you learn about it?
I played there before on another West Coast tour that I was doing, and I've seen some other people that I know from Folk Alliance that I played there. So I called them up, sent my EPK, and they were into it. And when I do that, the people from my high school community show up. So I'll probably play there again. It's great.
And where did you go to high school? Was Santa Barbara?
Up in Los Olivos, a little private school called the Midland School.
Wow, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, the rustic route to college, little thing tucked up in the Los Padres National Forest. It's beautiful up there.
Well, you've got a new album. It's called Born Into the Blizzard, Jefferson Berry and the UAC. And again, the UAC stands for what?
The Urban Acoustic Coalition, basically around the theme of it's folk music for city people.
Yeah, and you are deep in Philadelphia, which, you know what? A lot of people think, well, there's no bluegrass, there's no folk in the cities. It's all urban music. That's not true. And, a lot of times there's some really sophisticated music in the smallest of places, like a great example, Khruangbin. I know I'm mispronouncing them, but they're in this tiny little town way north of Dallas, and they record all their music in a barn, and that's why it sounds so good. But you've got a fabulous album here that's called Born Into a Blizzard, and it looks like, on the cover, it looks like a blizzard. Is that your photograph?
Yeah, we sort of manipulated something off of the internet. It's very expensive making albums, and so if you can cheat with some stock photography, there's no crime in that.
Well, the first song that I wanted to play, when I first heard it, oddly enough, I was driving on the 101 freeway, and I was going into Santa Maria, and I'm listening to this song. It's the first song in the album. It's called "Leaving Santa Maria." Is it about Santa Maria, California?
Oh yeah. I was on a West Coast tour, and I was playing a couple gigs there in Morro Bay, and I saw this gal sitting in a park, and as I was waiting for my my gig there, and she had a suitcase, a small suitcase, and I just sort of looked at her and thought, man, this would be a town that you would leave. But it must have been very, very hard. It must be very hard to leave a town that is the only thing you've ever known.
Some things with him on. Got a ticket at the Greyhound station. Terminal termination. Determined to make her own way. Leaving Santa Maria. clever, but to her it was all she'd known. Graveyard shift at the winery, driving lift to fill the gaps. Day after day, it was nothing more. Year after year, it was nothing less. Leaving Santa Maria, all that once met home. Never really had a plan, hadn't planned on being alone. Alone there waiting in Waller Park, without a reason to stay. Leaving Santa Maria today. Looking for a shortcut, but then getting caught up in the game. The love of her life went down for the crime of selling speed and stepped on cocaine. Beyond any reasonable doubt, the judge and jury agreed. In the back of the courtroom with outstretched arms, she cried, "Don't you care what happens to me?" Leaving Santa Maria without hesitation, or hopes of Lompoc in anticipationally maintaining relations, vaguely knowing some friends of friends up in the East Bay. Leaving Santa Maria today.
You know, that was Jefferson Berry and the UAC. And Jefferson just reminded me, he said, "Well, how long have you been on the air?" And I said, 11 years. And I just realized this show is the 11-year mark today. I just realized that this moment. So thanks for listening. Thanks for all your support, listeners. And thank you, Jefferson, and all the other artists that have been on the show over the years. It is such a treat to showcase worthy music. And there is a lot of it, but sometimes you got to really dig to find it. And I'm lucky to have to be collaborating with a variety of publicists and managers and record companies and artists telling other artists. And Art Menius of Art Menius Radio does a great job. And thank you, Art, for referring this Philadelphia-based artist. But that song, "Leaving Santa Maria," is about Santa Maria here, just south of Morro Bay, which is where the radio station is located. And you've played here before, right, Jefferson?
Yeah, I have. I forget the name of the place, but it was a winery, and it was a good time.
Was it the Savory Palette by any chance?
I think it was the Savory Palette.
There you go. They have a lot of singer-songwriter nights there. Well, so you're located in Philadelphia. I have fond memories of two things in Philadelphia that stand out in my mind. One, when I had moved after graduating undergraduate school, I'd moved back to my parents' house in Bloomfield, Connecticut, and was working a factory job and was extremely unhappy. And I had a film degree, and I wanted to go out to Hollywood, but my parents weren't real hot on that idea, and I could understand. So I finally decided, I pulled my back out doing this factory job, and I said, I'm done with this. I've got to go and make my way in Hollywood. So I drove across the country. On the way there, I stopped off in Philadelphia and saw my first Grateful Dead concert, thanks to a friend from high school who was going to school in Philadelphia. Then I went across the country and ended up in Hollywood. What was the story I was trying to tell you about? Oh, yeah, so the other thing that stood out in Philadelphia are the Philadelphia cheesesteaks. And I know that's a stereotype, but hey, they are amazing. And you must be so spoiled because you can get them everywhere.
That's one hell of a sandwich, man.
There was a place in L.A. called 3,000 Miles from Philadelphia, and it was a Philadelphia. Right. Did you ever go to that place?
I did. It's in Venice.
It is.
Right on Lincoln Avenue, right?
I don't know if
on
it's
Lincoln Boulevard. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there, but I remember the first time I ate there, which was shortly after I arrived in L.A. And I went, "What? There's a place here that does this?" And boy,
and get this: that place ships in the rolls on a daily basis.
Oh, that makes sense. The rolls are really soft. They grill them, and they grill them on top of the grilled items on the grill. So they're not only soft to begin with, but then they get infused with all the aromas of the meats and the vegetables that are on the grill. And so, is there such a thing as a Philadelphia cheesesteak with shrimp? I'm not kidding.
No, come on now. That's just wrong.
well, I figured, hey, if you could put all the vegetables with meat, why not shrimp? I mean, that sounds it's sort of a po' boy kind of sandwich, but
oh my God. Well, we had a presidential candidate come through town and went to one of the cheesesteak places, one of the big popular ones. And when he got up to the front of the line, he asked if he could have his cheesesteak with Swiss cheese. And he lost.
Well, it's the traditional cheese is provolone, right?
Well, actually, the traditional is a product called Cheese Whiz.
Oh, you're kidding! You're kidding, right?
Oh no, 100%.
Really?
If it's not Cheese Whiz, it's not authentic.
Oh God, I can't eat that stuff. It's not even food.
No, it's not.
It's not food.
It's just another step on the way to your triple bypass.
Well, let's see. On this record, on that track, it's Jefferson Berry on vocals and guitar. You got Ryan Lynch on violin, Bud Burrows on mandolin, Uncle Mike on bass, and Adam Strandberg on drums. Is he actually your Uncle Mike, or is that just his name?
No, that's his stage name. Has been for 30 years.
Okay. And this next track, which I really, really like, that was Leaving Santa Maria. This one's called Guitar on the River. And this features Dave Brown on the banjo, Bud Burrows on the mandolin, Teresa Ratcliffe on harmony vocals, Uncle Mike again on bass, and Adam Strandberg on the drums. And, of course, my guest, Jefferson Berry on vocals and guitar. And is this about going down the river on a raft playing guitar or on a boat?
Actually, Philadelphia is a city of rivers. There's two rivers that pretty much define the city. And I live pretty close to one, and I'll come down periodically and throw songs into the river, mumbling and, writing songs and throwing them into the river. That's what it's about.
Down by the river, I sing about John in the Jordan, baptizing the sinners. Roll on Columbia, Hoodie was there. Love that dirty water the river trunks, and the Delaware playing guitar. Guitar on the river and sky. It's a song in and of itself as the river rolls by. Bench on the bank is weathered but clean. Set yourself down and get yourself lost in a six-string dream playing guitar. Guitar on the river, playing my guitar. With a lump of bread, feeding the geese, and an old man with a fishing pole, playing catch and release. Me a mumbling words, looking for the 4 and 4, thinking about how much I love you. Some chords playing guitar. Guitar on the river, playing my guitar on the river.
You know, that last little bit there, it's like, it sounds like dun 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 dun. What is the name of that song?
It's a Dirty Water by the Shondells.
Standells, the Standells, yeah.
Standells, right.
Okay, so you were quoting from them. Okay, I got it. Well, Guitar on the River, that's Jefferson Berry and the UAC. Born into a Blizzard is the name of the album. Where can people get this physical CD? What's the best place for them to purchase it and then benefit yourselves?
JeffersonBerry.com.
Well, that's easy.
I got a little store. Yeah.
And this is your fifth album in 4 years. Is that what? If I got that right?
It's a fourth album in 5 years.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I'm a little dyslexic. Well, I just discovered you also went to the Sphere in Las Vegas to see Dead and Company. I was there a month ago. You were there just a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And what an experience, huh?
It's just wild. Oh my gosh! Now I've seen the Dead many times. I have seen better Dead shows, but I don't know if I've had a concert experience quite like that. It was incredible, and really, John Mayer. I mean, the guy just walks on water. He's astounding. When he
first, I saw some of the early Dead and Company shows, and I was like, the guy's trying to do Jerry, and then the second one, I went, wow, he's gotten really good. And then the third one, he's come into his own, and now this is probably the seventh or eighth show I've seen of Dead and Company, and he's taken it to a whole new level. He's certainly. I'm not a big fan of his own music, but what he does with Dead and Company, he is inheriting the spirit of Jerry Garcia, and he's taken it many steps beyond. And then the visuals, if listeners, if you've never been to the Sphere, I highly recommend the experience. And I'm not a big Las Vegas fan. In fact, there's nothing worse that I can imagine than be going to Las Vegas in the heat. Luckily, it wasn't too hot when I went, but but seeing this great music with the visuals that are completely surrounding you, above, behind, to either side, and below you, especially if you're sitting in the middle of the sphere, which is 300 or 400 seat area, is it's a mind blowing experience. I don't know how else to say it, and you agree. So
100%. Uncle, and I agree with you on Las Vegas too. Uncle Mike and I flew in, saw the show, flew out.
Yeah, everything's gotten real expensive there. Parking is like $20-$30 wherever you go. It's hard to get around. It's not really easy to get around. You have to drive, or there is that monorail that goes around. But anyway, when is Jefferson Barry and the UAC playing the Sphere? That's what I want to know.
You and me both.
Well, when are you actually playing? Do you guys have any live gigs coming up?
We do have a bunch of gigs back here. And I'm going to be coming back out in the fall for the Far West Folk Conference in Vancouver, Washington, in September, and then we're going to take that down and do a little tour for a couple of weeks from like Portland, Oregon, down to Los Angeles. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Have you booked anything in the San Luis Obispo?
I haven't quite yet. I'm on the cusp of a couple of things, and you'll be the first to know.
Well, I'll talk to you off the air about that, but 30 miles to the beach. Which beach are you talking about in this one?
This is in Los Angeles. We had a gig back when I was coming right out of college, and I met this girl at a show, and she lived in East LA and had never been to the beach.
In East LA, she'd never been to the beach?
Had never been to the beach. So I took her down to the beach, and that's about as far as the relationship went. The interesting thing on this track is Ruben Valcher is a college roommate of mine from the University of California, Santa Cruz, and he's currently on tour with Weird Al Yankovic. He's been Weird Al's keyboard player for a long time. Cliff Hugo on bass was Ray Charles' bass player.
Wow.
And Jay Davidson is back here in Philly, and he used to be the road sax player for Whitney Houston. So in terms of the big stars, this is the cut that's got them.
The band was playing at the Moose Lodge in Monte. Conley had landed us a 3-6 show. In between sets I met a dark-haired honey, somebody's daughter whose eyes said hello. She wanted to know where we were from. She wanted to know more about me. She said she'd never been to the west side of town. I said it's only 30 miles to the beach. I wanted to know how it could be that he never night she was dancing so slowly. Her eyes and my name met as I sang her my songs. She was still there as the band handled load out. She was still there as Daddy drank at the bar. She wanted to know when we'd be back. I wanted to know if she was free. No me esperes despierto, she told her dad. And she said, it's only 30 miles to the beach. 30 miles from the beach and me.
"30 Miles to the Beach." Jefferson Berry and the UAC. "Born into a Blizzard" is the name of the album. We're right back with Jefferson. This is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. It's Tuesday Lunch with Abe until 6. KEBF Morro Bay, KZSR Paso Robles. And you know, a great way to show your support for The Rock is to become a member by making a donation of just $52, which, one, it's tax deductible, and two, it comes out to just 14 cents a day to keep community radio, freeform radio, alive and well. As a member, you'll receive 2 Rock t-shirts and 2 window stickers. Become a member by selecting the link on our front page at therockcommunityradio.org. And Jefferson Berry is calling in from Philadelphia. So this next one I wanted to play is "Philly Eats His Own." And there's a story that goes along with this, right?
Well, it's a bunch of different vignettes. We are very, very hard on our stars. And people that get famous from Philadelphia, by and large, have to leave town before it really happens for them. So that's kind of what it is. I mean, a big sports town. So, I mean, this has Mike Schmidt, who we booed like incessantly. It's got Larry Fine of the Three Stooges, who's nobody until he left. It's got a variety of folks that just couldn't hack it here, and when they left, they became huge international stars.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, but there's a lot of great. I've interviewed a bunch of jazz musicians from Philadelphia. There's a lively jazz scene there as well. And when you're playing locally, where do you play in? Like coffee houses or clubs? Where do you play?
I've got a variety of clubs and coffee houses, and you got a variety of gigs. My favorite is the Falzer Club. It's a great listening room, and it's an old silent movie theater.
Oh yeah,
that's been redone, and the sound in there is impeccable. And I like to plug them whenever we can. Interesting thing about Philly Eats Its Own, this track has got Scott Bricklin on guitar, and we sent the track to him in France, where he had to leave, and he's a big deal in Europe. He couldn't catch a cold here.
Well, that's not uncommon to have. In fact, there's a lot of artists in Europe nobody knows who they are here. I mean, there's just the thing, Jefferson. The thing with music these days is there's so much out there. Unlike when I was in radio back in the 70s, it was all vinyl based. I mean, you'd have cassettes too, but mostly vinyl based, and people would send out records. Well, now. And you'd have to go through them. You'd have to sit down. And I remember the radio station that I worked with back when I was in college. There was a room dedicated to just sitting and listening to music that it doesn't go out over the air, or you'd take it home with you. It wasn't uncommon to take home 10 records, and the radio station manager would say, "Hey, music director, hey, you got to listen to all these 10. Mark your favorite cuts." And then come back, and then when everybody marks their favorite cuts, those are the ones we're going to play. It was like a homework assignment. Well, now with freeform radio here, it's very different because we play what we want to play within good taste, hopefully. And it's commercial radio. I don't know what it's like in Philadelphia, but it's just dreadful here. It's dreadful. And then it's just all this. Everything's the same. It seems like it's all the same producer on every song, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I've gotten older and a little bit more pickier, in my older age. But you were going to say something about radio?
Yeah, I was in the radio business for 30 years doing promotions, and one of the things that just killed radio is the bean counters just destroyed it. I mean, we got rock stations here in Philadelphia that are playing like 22 units of commercials an hour. I mean, who's going to sit through that?
Well, the same thing has happened now to motion picture exhibition. So you go into we're lucky. We have a couple of independent theaters that when you go into a movie, the only thing you're seeing in the beginning are trailers for the movies that are coming, which is what it used to be. But most of the commercial theaters now, you see the trailers at the end of 20 or 30 minutes in some cases of advertisements for sugary drinks, just things that have nothing to do with movies. It's just you're paying to see these commercials. I've never understood why they think people want to see that, but I understand why they put them on, because the companies pay a lot of money to have their commercials before in the pre-show, so to speak. So truthfully, they're not that effective for the advertisers either. I wouldn't think so. People, whenever I'm sitting in there, people are so annoyed that these commercials are on and they're talking. They're not even paying attention what's on the screen. By the time the trailers are coming on, they're paying attention. But they're all on their phones and blah blah blah. So we just heard "Philly Eats Its Own" by Jefferson Berry, and now I think we're going to end with "Born on Payday." What's the deal with this?
So this is my father's version of the day I was born. You want to talk about self-centered singer-songwriters? This is it. I was born in Schenectady, New York. It was a blizzard, and my mother just hates this song. It's my father's version of the story.
Did he tell you the story?
He did. Yeah. Well, he told me what was it like to have a kid all of a sudden.
Well, I can't imagine. I've never been a parent. I think I'd be a lousy parent. But hats off to my parents, because I must have given them hell. I wasn't a real easy kid. But in any case, I want to thank Art Menius Radio, and I especially want to thank my guest, Jefferson Berry from Philadelphia. Go get their album. It's called Born Into a Blizzard, Jefferson Berry and the UAC. Check them out at jeffersonberry.com. And we're going to end with Born on Payday. And thanks so much, Jefferson, for taking your time out in a late afternoon.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Abe. We'll see you soon when I come out there, huh?
Well, I never met expectations. My mama had me 3 weeks late. Born into a blizzard, I came on cold on a Friday Right this way, young lady. Mr. B, you'll have to wait here. So we opened up a fresh pack of Lucky Strikes and settled into the waiting room chair. I was born on payday. My mama's labor was redeemed. Born on payday. Friday the 15th. Countdown from 100. The anesthesiologist said to my mama lying there for the first time, stoned in her delivery bed. I knocked out generation. 'Twas the way they did it back then. No screaming, no cursing, no muss, no fuss. The daddy's to lend a hand. I was born on payday. My mama couldn't hear me scream. Born on payday. Friday the 15th. Well, now some might say it's conceited to sing about one's own birth. It's not like I'm some kind of Jesus walking around with a big fat purse. But the workers, they get paid on Friday, oh, the 15th and the 30th. So as much as I'd like to buy the next round, till then you ain't getting spent. I was born on payday. Another boomer baby beginning. Born on payday. Friday the 15th. Playing the hot corner, putting it in the seats. The people out there did not care. They only gave him grief. Yeah, best there ever was. Always in the zone, but there's no such thing as always. Philly eats its own. Yo, Philly eats its own. Sure enough, will be tough. Philly eats its own. Never can get enough now. Larry knew just what they wanted. A wise guy, none to find. We laughed at his misfortune as Mo poked him in the eye. Just the streets from 3rd and South, Larry left his home. He knew our love was in doubt. Philly eats its own. Yeah, Philly eats its own. Around here you better watch your step. Philly eats its own. No matter your success. Nobody likes us. We don't care. Play the game from both sides. A game of truth or dare. got no service, so she made her way to France. Jocko left when he was a kid, kinda like the Fresh Prince. Nobody ever booed him, but they would if they had stayed. The music may have changed the world, but the world is where they play. Yeah, Philly eats its own, feasting on its stars. Philly eats its own, it truth is who we are. Yeah, Philly eats its own. Ooh, yeah, Philly eats its own.
Two by Jefferson Berry and the UAC from the Born Into a Blizzard album. First we heard Born on Payday, which is actually the last tune of the album, and then the tune I forgot to play, which was Philly Eats His Own. Wow, that's a pretty good tune to end on. From Jefferson Berry and the UAC, Born Into a Blizzard. Here at 97.3 and 107.9, The Rock.